Alright, today's topic is downsides of Filipino culture. This is going to be a more personal video. So if that doesn't interest you, you can just click off. But no one's really watching these fucking videos anyway, so I'll just yap. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about, maybe struggles that I dealt with being Filipino, or some things I don't like about the culture. And obviously, a disclaimer is I love being Filipino. I love being Asian in general. I think we got awesome culture. But obviously there's always going to be downsides and things you dislike. Especially if you're someone that grew up in a different culture. Like I grew up in America. So having to balance two cultures, two backgrounds is kind of a struggle. Every immigrant can kind of or not immigrant, but every second generation can be agree with me. So it's all love to Filipino, obviously. Just critiquing, just talking. Anyway, first thing is kind of not that serious, but our food is not healthy at all, bro. Think about your favorite Filipino dishes, and they got little to no veggies. Most of them are literally just meat over rice. My favorite things are adobo, obviously, caldereta, lumpia, sisig. But it's all pork, and pork is alright. I don't think it's as unhealthy as people say, but obviously a lot of it is gonna give you issues. It's very fatty. It's not super high in protein compared to beef or chicken. We just use a shit ton of oil and sugar. There's so many things in Filipino food that are just randomly sweet. And I don't know, I don't know if I like it just because I grew up with it. But like Filipino spaghetti, why is that sweet? But it's obviously good. But I don't know if that's necessary. Growing up, I didn't even really know that that our food wasn't unhealthy until I started getting into fitness and stuff. And I was just oh, there's no veggies in a lot of the foods I eat. I was eating spam and eggs a lot, corned beef and eggs. What's the other one? Tocino and eggs. What's the sausage? Longanisa and eggs. Yeah, it's just meat and rice, which I love. It's so simple. But then there's I don't know, not a lot of veggies that you get. And, the one veggie dish that I did eat a lot growing up was bitter melon. And bro, if you've had that bitter melon, there's probably a name for it, I forget. But if you've had that bitter melon dish, it's just not very good. Some people will ride or die for that. I'm not one of them. Alright, second thing I noticed about Filipino culture is very family oriented, which is, I personally, even though I'm talking about downsides, I still think it's overall good to be family oriented, because it builds a sense of community, and you just have a group of people that are going to support you. But in some Filipino families, I know maybe a lot of people can relate. Sometimes it's it's supportive to a point. It's very they want you to keep in line, especially your elders. You have to kind of follow their idea of what they want for you, and you kind of have to behave accordingly. Authority and respecting your elders is very very ingrained inside you. So if you act out, or if you even talk back, it's just looked down upon. You're gonna get punished for it, even if what you're saying is valid. It's just their opinion is gonna matter more than you. And when you grow up in America and you're taught that, it's it's such a struggle, because Americans are very about being vocal about your opinions and expressing yourself. And so something that was hard for me is just speaking out when I felt like wronged, or speaking out when like I felt something was not right. Or speaking out when, I just felt something inside, like when I was like hurting. It's just like you're kind of taught to just bottle up your emotions, and it's like that's like a very common Asian culture thing. But yeah, Filipino culture, like, also to tie this into family and stuff, it's like sometimes the expectation to be dedicated to your family like almost holds you back a little. I'm just gonna speak from personal experience. Like, I have a family of 6, so I have three siblings and like 2 parents, and like we also have relatives like nearby, and so like I just have a big family, and you're kind of expected to like have a celebration for everyone's birthdays and like everyone's like little events, and you're expected to go support, which I think is good. But then also, like, when you get older, it can kind of hold you back, because like there's a time where it just becomes like an obligation, more so like something you want to do, and then you start saying no to like other things going on in your life, like your career or your social life, because like in the back of your head, the priority is always going to be your family. Like, family is always first. And like, there is a huge part of me that does believe that family should be first, but I've just noticed that there are times where like it's not even like a huge deal, like if I were to say no, but like to an event or something that's going on, but I just like I put like my family's needs over myself, and like that obviously can be like toxic in a way, especially if you're guilted for making that decision. And I mean, I don't want to like don't get me wrong, I know I've like repeating this, but like family is important. It's important to like have that people that support you and you support them. But yeah, like it's just, I don't know, I just noticed that there's always like times where I'm putting other people's needs before myself, and that's just kind of like a fine line you kind of have to play, because there are times where it's not necessary, or there are times where you actually need to put yourself first in order for like the sake of your like mental health, or for the sake of your growth and stuff like that. So another downside, and like this is something that kind of irks me like every day, is this culture of hoarding, and just like I don't know if it's just my family. I've talked to some other Filipinos, and they like can relate. It's also like, from what I know, like a Southeast Asian problem too, is a lot of our families come from like poverty, and so when they get to America, they place so much emphasis on material, and they start buying unnecessary things, and they start hoarding items, even if it's like to the point where their house is just so cluttered. And like I can relate, like my house to navigate in is like so like bizarre, and so like it just makes your mind cluttered. Like you can't think, because everywhere you look there's like a mess, and nowhere, like there's no rhyme or reason to how it's organized. And you can't even organize it yourself, because it's your family's home, it's like your parents' home, so it's just like you kind of just have to deal with it. And like it's like the same for the kitchen too. Like, oh my god, so many Filipinos can relate. Like they probably have like kitchens full of food, which is obviously good, food is good, but when you don't even know what's in the back of your fridge, and things are just going spoiled like every other week, like bro, it's just, it doesn't make sense. Like, and you can't even voice it to them, because they're just like, oh, you're ungrateful, or like, oh, this is my house. And it's just like, I don't know, it doesn't make sense. Like, you're not even using these items, like you're not even eating this food. Why are we like just like stocking up on shit we don't need? And it's just like, I don't know, like I wish we learned like organizational skills at least. But I don't know, a lot of like immigrant families like just, I don't know. I don't know if it's like they don't notice the mess or they're just like used to it. Like, I don't know, cause like for me, I can't work in that space, you know. Like it's just an eyesore, you know. Anyway, that's like really about it for now. I'm like going home, so anyway, yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.